clear. Thank you.
Thank you. As Senator Baker was earlier referencing, you said in your opening comment that it may be time for Parliament, quote, may be time for Parliament to re-examine the third-party regime put into place 17 years ago, quote. Yet I don't believe that the bill that's currently before the House of Commons, introduced by then Minister Monsef, dealing with issues that they want to amend about the Elections Act following this most recent election, deals with this alarming situation around third-party involvement in Canadian elections. So did you advise the federal government to include provisions further regulating third-party involvement in Canadian elections in their new bill? If so, why aren't they in the new bill? And if not, why didn't you provide that advice?
I would say a couple of things. One is C-33, as you very fairly described it, does not address that issue. On the other hand, I'd like to perhaps highlight the fact that, as far as we could see, the mandate letter that was given to the new Minister of Democratic Institutions has an element of it, and Mark is trying to find it now, that call on her to review the expenses that third parties make with a view to making sure that we have something that's reasonable. And in a moment when we have the actual wording of her mandate letter, I can read that back to you.
But a bill that they took months and months to draft doesn't have it in, that is currently before Parliament. Right now it's just in a mandate letter, perhaps, a new mandate letter, and who knows if legislation might result from that or not. So if you could just then answer my question, did you advise the federal government to include third-party further regulation provisions regarding third-party regulation in Canadian elections?
I raised the issues relating to third parties' involvement in the electoral contest in my last annual report, and of course that is a document that is public. And apart from that, the issue has not been raised.
Is this something that you would have additional meetings with the minister to indicate what particular areas you think should be in a new bill that the minister would be?
This would certainly be a possibility. And
did that happen or no?
Given what is happening today in this place at this very moment, we could have further discussions with.
But did you meet with the minister and indicate your advice that third-party involvement, or did that only happen in the course of the report?
I did not meet with the minister to discuss this.
Okay. And would you say, given that particular very major shocking loophole that we just heard about today, right now third parties, if it's outside of that 6-month window, it's unlimited. So it seems like what would be a great amendment in that particular act would be to simply delete the portion dealing with the third party 6-month window. What section is this? 359 sub 4. Right now it says the election advertising report shall include the amount by class of contributor of contributions for election advertising purposes. I would submit that probably that particular subsection should end right there and just simply delete the part that says that were received in the period beginning 6 months before the issue of the writ and ending on polling day. Is that the sort of thing that you would agree would be a good amendment, because it would help to at least make those donations more transparent?
If you look at the recommendations report tabled by Monsieur Méran, I think that his recommendation numbered C30 deals with that precisely, and I think his recommendation was that Parliament should consider, going back and take into account all contributions that have been received.
Thank you.
Could I, Mr. Chair, I'd like to read into the record that part of the mandate letter given to Madame Gold, and it reads as follows: review the limits on the amounts political parties and third parties can spend during elections and propose measures to ensure that spending between elections is subject to reasonable limits as well. On va voir.